Okay, cool. So it's Tuesday. I did put a video on YouTube yesterday, so you guys can have a look at that. I was saying that USD against the Canadian dollar is going to go down. We had the previous little flag drawn here, ascending channel. The purple channel here that you can see here, that was the ascending channel. And then it broke downwards impulsively again. And what we can see now is there's kind of like how do I say it? Descending channel. So it's not ascending, sorry. Now it's descending. This little channel here. So I still think it's going to continue downwards for a little while. We're looking for a sell area. It was on an hourly chart. So the sell, we're looking for an hourly chart. We want to get in at the top of the channel because, again, if it's a downtrend, we want to sell at the top. So those of you that got an entry here, like if you guys still have your positions open, I will close it. Like as soon as we get to the bottom of the channel, now that we know there's a channel there, it's good to take profits. So if you guys had a sell on anywhere towards the top, take profits. Just let it come back to the top and find a new entry. So I would take my profit if you did catch it at the top, like a few hours ago, even a day or two ago. So I would take my profit. So again, let's wait for a new zone where we can look for a sell. Okay, awesome. Okay, that's what I'm thinking about USD CAD. I wouldn't see anything changing. Let's look at weekly overview, daily overview. Sorry, I still think there's a lot of room. It broke out. And can you see this? I don't know if you guys can see it clearly. There is like a yellow box that I drew, and we can see it hit the top, and it could be making its way downwards. That's the reason why it's broke out of the uptrend, because on a weekly, you guys just need to understand, because I know it's mindset, but a lot of trading is mindset. Why would it go down? You can see on the weekly that it's definitely a downtrend. So this is why we're looking for entries on a sell, even though on a daily it looks like a uptrend. We zoom again and we're trying to catch our way in so we can secure a good entry. So on a 15-minute chart, let's zoom back in. Sorry, it's better to look at this on an hourly so you know what's going on. So we've secured our zone at the top there. That's what we're looking for, a sell in that area. If I was to give you guys a number, a good entry would be, a really good entry would be around about 1.3688. Anywhere around the area, top of this channel. If it doesn't hit, just be prepared to do a lower lot size and you catch it slightly lower. But if it does come to these areas, you can go slightly higher and get it for a scalp and then just hold it. And if you are scalping and you think it's going to go all the way back down, as soon as you get into like 5 to 10 pips profit, you can set your stop profit to 5 pips. So you know you've got your 5 pips. But if you're going to be holding, then I would say use a relevant lot size because you don't want to do anything crazy. So that's the USD CAD. Are you guys happy with that? So I'm going to continue to the next chart. So the center number 1, if that makes sense to you. Okay, makes sense. To Oliver. Does that make sense to everybody else? Okay, perfect. So next one, Euro USD. I think that's the one that was in a wedge. Was it? Let's see. And pretty much the crazy thing is about this is you guys will be like, AJ, if you knew this was going to happen, why didn't you tell us to sell? I'll tell you why. Because if you remember yesterday, I said that it's in a wedge and it's going to come back down. So you're probably wondering why I didn't tell you to sell. Okay, perfect. So let me see. What am I doing? To hide these boxes. Let's go to H4. So if you remember yesterday, I said on my channel, sorry, you can watch the video as well. I did say that I expected to come back down. So even though we're looking for a breakout upwards, it would have been silly if you was buying at the top of the channel. So we can say wedge, and what wedge means is it's getting tight. So if you look from the left and right, it's just getting tight, and eventually it's going to go to a position where it's going to break out. And I did think that it's going to break out upwards. So there was no point buying at the top. It's always good to buy at the bottom. So let it come down slightly more. Again, the reason why I don't buy it, so we sell at the top, is because it's an uptrend. In my eyes, all my analysis is telling me that it's going to break out upwards. So I just don't want to sell. I'm just looking for a buy. So that's where the patience comes in. That's where the mindset. If you said that it's going to break out upwards soon, just be patient and find that entry. That's what makes you a good trader. Don't have to catch every candle. It's all about catching your entry, your analysis. Be confident. Then you're not worrying about what's going to happen. So just imagine you thought that what if it just breaks out, bought, or just thought that you wanted to catch it on the way down but it just broke out upwards. But deep down, we always said it's going to go up. That's why you want to catch a buy at the bottom. So again, I would just personally wait. Is there any scalping areas? Again, I wouldn't want to scalp in the middle of this wedge. I will let it come down, back down to this area, at least towards the black line or towards the circle would be a nice entry, as we said before. So that's Euro USD. Me personally, if you have different analysis, different whatever, I just like to keep it clear. I'm not going to be trading Euro USD till it comes down to the back of the channel. It's not even that long. Look at the hourly chart. All you have to do is keep yourself occupied for the next one day, or just give it like the next 12, 13 hours, see what happens. If it comes down to this area, then we can start to get excited and try to find our entry. But for now, just be patient. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at gold. So gold, again, let me extend this line. The reason why is you can see it's still confirming by this line. Draw it slightly higher. Again, me personally, I'm still looking for a sell. We've seen it shoot up in the last few hours. I would personally look for a sell. What I think is happening is a bigger version of what happened here. So it's created a flag, impulsive movement up. It's creating a descending slightly channel on the hourly. It could go higher. So if I'm looking for a sell, I'll be looking for a sell in that zone, the exact circle that I drew yesterday. I think I drew that yesterday. So let's just wait it out. Let me show on a 4-hour chart. Yeah, so like I said, that circle is getting close to that area. There is like a solid on a H4, there is like a resistance. So it could, like, we've seen that little resistance there, but we've seen a few wicks. Like even today, it shot up close to that area. And what I want to zoom into is so you guys can see exactly what I'm trying to say. Just imagine you got into this area. We just missed it by a few pips. So can you see this wick here? It nearly touched the area that we were talking about. Let's see how many pips it dropped, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. It went back down. Let's see at least the next candle, 50 pips. That was very simple. It's very close. How many pips away was it from my entry point? Like 5 pips, like 5, 6 pips away. I still think that it could creep back up. So let's wait for that as well. I still have that on a sell. I don't mean I have it on a sell right now. I mean, I'm still thinking long term. Just looking for a good sell. So if it goes anywhere towards this blue circle that I drew, I'm looking for a sell. There is like a resistance. There's a chance it could go down. And if it goes down, let me just draw a possible scenario that could happen. If it goes down to this area, create a little another channel here. I'm looking for like a shoot down. That's what I'm looking for. If it doesn't go into this area and shoot down. So there's 2 scenarios. Again, let the candles do its thing. We've looked at what's going to happen long term. We just have to wait for the candles to do their thing. Let them be a bit more comfortable. Let them give you a bit more confidence, and then get in for your trade. Don't just gamble. So me personally, I'm waiting for that area. If you guys are looking for a sell, I would wait as well, even though it's at resistance. But overall, on a daily, when you look at the daily, don't be surprised if it goes back to the top. Why would you be surprised? There's like kind of like little consolidation. I wouldn't be surprised if it shoots back to the top. So this is why I'm saying don't be surprised if it goes back to the top. Let's just have a quick look at our weekly so we know what's potentially going to happen this week. It could see some retracement. The reason why is if you see those 3 weeks of straight red, there was one like green week, same thing happened. There's been like 3 red candles. At the moment it's green. I still think if you're getting towards the top, the same way if you got into the top of that green week, you still would have made a lot of profit if you sold. So again, me personally, let's just wait for it to go back to the top. Even if it is a green week, as long as we secure that good entry, I think we'll be good for the following 1 or 2 weeks, if that's going to hold. But for scalping, again, you want to get into the top for a sell. So that's the gold. Euro GBP, I don't know if I already gave any analysis on that yesterday. Zoom in onto H4. Again, we were just waiting for that. We were saying that it could come back into that zone if you're going to look for a buy. Again, me personally, I'm just waiting to see what happens next. USD JPY, let's see what I drew here. So, okay, yeah, USD JPY, this is a good one. Sorry, actually, this is Euro JPY. Let me zoom out to a daily. Okay, so we're still waiting on the Euro JPY to get a good buy. I think when we looked at it last week, we said it was on an uptrend. Let's have a look at our weekly. It's actually on a downtrend, I'd say. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here in a few days. Let it get towards the top of the channel. Let's go back to a daily because we were looking for it to go down. But if it is a downtrend, even on the daily, potentially we could get in on the sell and then get the buy later when it bounces at the bottom. So it's kind of creating a wedge. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me just draw this for you. There is a slight wedge pattern going on here. Again, the bottom is definitely looking good for a buy, but maybe here we can expect something like this to happen, and then either break out or break up. But me personally, let's just wait it out. If it gets close to the top, we can definitely look for a sell in this area, and if it comes to the bottom, we're looking for a good buy in this area. The only reason I'm saying this is because it's a wedge. If it wasn't a wedge, if it was definitely just a downtrend, but I'm more confident in the sell. So if it just reach this area, I would wait for it, give it like maybe a day or two, let it go back up, and then look for a sell because we can clearly see the trend line here. Let's zoom out onto a weekly again just to make sure that I'm confident. And why would I be confident? In a weekly, yeah, there's two ways you can look at it. Let me just draw another line. Remember, every day you look at the charts, you'll see something different. It's not always going to see something similar. Yeah, there's like a little wedge happening. Me personally, I'm expecting a daily. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to remain patient. So if it goes to the bottom, I'll be looking for a buy. If it goes to the top of this channel, maybe in a day or two, then I'll be looking for a scale. Is there any scalping zones? Me personally, again, I wouldn't want to do it unless it's at the top. But let's see. Not really. Not really. Because I wouldn't be confident for a sell here because it could just go all the way back up. So if it was down here, potentially there's like a little barcode here we could have sold or bought. But me personally, I wouldn't be looking at that one. Let's have a quick look at USD JPY before we get to UK 100. So yesterday I was talking about how did the potential of it shooting up. So as you can see today, it did exactly what I was talking about yesterday, like in terms of what could happen. So there was a flag, we were looking for a sell. We said that the only reason it can go up is because on a daily it's on an uptrend. So if it goes back to this area, then we can look for a sell. So it looks like that's what it wants to do. Remember, on the weekly though, it is a downtrend, and you guys can clearly see that. On the weekly, is definitely a downtrend recently. So it's at the top of the channel. On the daily, however, if we focus on the present, there was a chance of it breaking out, but it's going back up. So again, what I'm looking for now is let it go higher. If it creates some sort of pattern here, that's fine. For me personally, I wait for this area and I'm looking for a sell more towards that area because then it's going to comply. It could go even higher, actually. It could go higher. But if you just do your good risk management, there's no reason why you can't sell at the top. So because it broke out upwards, this channel that I had here, I don't really think we should look at that too much now. It's had its impulsive. Now you have to look at the new pattern that's going to be created and let's wait for a sell. A bit higher. So I wouldn't sell right now. The reason why is because on the daily chart, it's in the middle of the channel. I'd rather sell here. It could even have a potential to go even higher and you can get even amazing sell at this resistance. And the reason why that's a resistance is because previously it's bounced off that. Look here. Let me just draw a really good resistance zone that could be a potential for a sell as well. That would be like a really optimal place to sell because if it breaks upwards, you can get out quickly. But if it hits that area, you'll have a lot of support on the sell. On a daily channel, it's at the top, looking for a sell. On a weekly, it's at the top of a downtrend, looking for a sell. So that's what I'm looking at on USD JPY. Let me jump on to the final one I'm going to look at today. Again, I was supposed to be mindset, but a lot of you guys have already jumped on a mindset session before. UK 100, absolutely loving this right now. What I was saying is I do think it's going to explode upwards. That was always my initial plan for UK 100. And it's good to see that it's doing exactly what you said it's going to do. Like I said on the weekly chart, I think it's going to shoot up. We zoom into the 4-hour chart. Our zone was pretty much very nice. I did draw a line potential what could happen, um, but as you can see today, it just broke out upwards. There is a chance of it coming back down. The reason why, um, so if you missed it on the buy, don't worry about it. I still think that it could retest this zone. Like, don't be surprised to see it retest the zone. What I mean is, just come back to this area and then go back up. So don't be surprised to see that. So let me extend this zone that I'm going to draw. So again, I'm still looking for a buy. If you miss the entries, if you got a secure position, just set your stop loss into profit, and you can hold it if you want. But me personally, I would take profits and then look for a new position. So I'm going to delete some of these old lines so it looks a bit clearer. So it's sharp, like we said, but in the last few hours, it's come back slightly down. It is close to a previous resistance, so there could be a chance it shoots down before it breaks out. But there are signs that we are correct in terms of the long-term direction. So long-term direction, so the top of the channel, we don't want to buy at the top of the channel. We always want to buy at the bottom of the channel because that's smart. That's smart trading. So let's wait for it to hit the bottom of the channel and then we can buy. So even though it's broken out like as we expected, UK 100, I always thought it's going to go back down. There's a chance of it coming down into this channel. At the bottom of the channel, they look for a buy. So those of you that had a buy on, I would take profit. It could shoot up, but I would take profits. Just wait for the candles always go up and down. Look at it. Just simply look at this with your eye before it goes further higher. It will potentially go lower. So just wait and secure your profits if you had that open. If you're waiting for it to go back down, that's a good. If you're just trying to buy, don't buy now because at the top of the channel, let's see what happens next. So I'm going to clean some of these lines so we can kind of see what's going to happen. I'll leave that one. And that's still a good zone. This is a good resistance zone. So we can leave this here just for future reference if it does for any reason come back down. So that's what I'm looking at on the UK 100. Okay, so has anybody got any questions about any today's analysis? That's what I'm looking at. I've given you some good type of analysis, not really signal, it's more giving you an idea of when to get into the market because that's the way that I trade. Scalping is on the zones. So all of this analysis I've done, I would find my entry, for example, here. If I was going to scalp, I wouldn't scalp right now. I would be patient and let it come back down into this area. That's where I would scalp. Let me show you also on the USD JPY. I wouldn't scalp right now. If it's gone this high, it's broken out. I would love to scalp in this area. So you have to have your scalping zones. So I would love to scalp in this area because I'm more confident in scalping in this area. So again, so patience. The same with USD CAD. We did say that it's going to shoot downwards. Again, I wouldn't scalp if I'm looking for a sell. Potentially, I'll scalp in these type of areas where it goes back up and it goes down. For example, gold. I wouldn't scalp right now. I would scalp when it goes back into this area. Why? Because I'm more confident with my scalp. So scalping just goes along with what we're saying. Yeah, so scalping just goes along with your analysis. So scalping is just when you have a high entry, you just catch a few pips on a higher lot size. But it's still this, for me, basically, it's still the same analysis. I'm going to scalp according to my analysis. So if my analysis is that it's going to go up, my scalping entry point would be an optimum place for where it's going to have less drawdown. So just say, for example, USD CAD is going to go down. We're saying that it's going to go, sorry, gold, we're saying that it's going to go down. So an optimum area for me with less drawdown would be in this blue circle. So I'm not gonna scalp now because even though there's a slight resistance, my analysis is telling me there's room for it to go higher. If I start scalping now and it goes higher, that's my fault. But if my analysis is saying that it could go higher into this blue area, it's gonna shoot down, low drawdown area, that's where I want to scalp. So have you noticed how my scalping goes hand in hand with my long-term analysis? And wherever there's low drawdown zones, that's where I'm going to scalp. There might be weeks where you can't scalp because it's just in the middle of the channel and you don't want to take any risks. Hey, that's just trading. You can't trade every single day. as long as you catch your 15, 20, 30% a month, you should be happy because that's insane types of results. When you have 100K, that's easily 15 to 30,000 every single month. So just be realistic, have that goal of growing your account, not trying to literally flip your account. So growing your accounts, even though scalping is awesome, there's strategies and there's methodology behind it. Okay, awesome. So is there any other charts that you guys want to have a look at? If there isn't, then I think I'll call it a night. I did jump on this slightly late. I will upload this so you guys can go over this again if you missed out any entries or anything like that. There was supposed to be mindset. Don't worry. I've got something majorly planned. Oh, I forgot nearly. We had a test today with the auto trader. So a few people that sent me their details, I did place a few trades and it worked. So that's good news. So I'm probably going to launch the auto trader in the next 2 weeks, where whatever I do is going to be copied onto your accounts. So that's where you don't have to be patient in terms of placing trades yourself. Let me be patient. Let me find the entries, and I'll get in myself, and you guys can copy me as well. So that's the update on Auto Trader. I'll try my hardest to get this uploaded to YouTube today. So if anybody misses it and wants to go over it, just to find your entries, that's fine as well. So has anybody got any questions? If not, I'm going to call it a night. Or anything, any questions at all about anything? Yeah, so the auto trader is the same. Yeah, so because it's a scalping auto trader, it's the same. I'm thinking about having two auto traders. One, as you can see, like my analysis long term is pretty much safe as well. So I'll have two strategies. So I'll have one that's a scalping, which is going to be all about the entry king zones, and then I'll have another one for a bit more long term trading, maybe not really swings, but I'll still like to take my profit early or low drawdown areas where we can hold the trade for maybe 10, 15 to 30, 40 pips as well. So I'll do that as well. So, okay, cool. So somebody is trying to draw a new zone. No worries. All right, cool. So if anybody wants to ask anything, 400, but I recommend for the larger one. Yeah, 400 is fine. 400 is fine. 350 to 400 is good for the scalping one. Um, Anything higher is just a bonus, really. Some people start with 500, some people start with 1,000. Of course, the higher, the more you're probably going to get because your risk will be higher, but it's the same percentage of your balance. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the recording and I'll upload this to YouTube.